guys. Welcome to this. That's the name of the podcast.
Okay,
That's
I was like, wow, he fucked up off the top.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's called Welcome to This. It's a traveling pod where I just bring comedians out and talk about traveling, where they've been, where they want to go.
Sure.
Just something different, you know? I'm passionate about traveling.
You didn't want to just do a podcast that's comedians talking to
Where
other
we're just talking
comedians,
about,
which it's what I'll be launching soon.
We're like, yeah, Sesh Comedy was good the other night. And then everybody tunes in, they're like, I can't fucking listen
You
to
know
this.
what's different about the comic's brain?
Guys, if you're tuning in and watching this, I'm joined by a very cool guy, very good friend of mine named Joey Avery. Joey's a very funny comedian, just moved here from the Bay Area, actually from Los Angeles.
Yes.
But originally from the Bay
By
Area.
way of the Bay, yeah.
Yeah, very funny comic. You've been all over the country. You're blowing up.
I'm trying.
Dude, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
What else? Comedy Central, Don't Tell. You do a lot of
Don't Tell
stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny credits now because like both of those things and you're like, actually I had a clip that did like 7 million. Did more for my life than anything else. But yeah, done both of those and yeah, it's been fun. Like the cool thing is it's finally at a point where I get to tour and you know, it's what it is. It's like you spend almost a decade just like hoping to do that, and then you get there and you're like, I made it, and then you look at the ticket sales and you're like, I did not.
Yeah. You're just like, where's all these 300,000 people that follow me?
Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
But it's been really fun. Yeah, kind of wrapped my first full tour and then have some more stuff coming up this year. So
nice, dude. You got another tour like in the works?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like we call them tours, but it's basically like my dates for last year, my dates for this year. You know?
But you got a lot of dates where like you can call it a tour. Some people go, I'm going on tour, and then they'll post like a poster. It's like 3 dates.
Yeah.
In like the same state somewhere, and like one of them's like a brewery, and it's like, you know what I mean?
If you're calling it a tour, you want to put the graphic design guy to work.
Yeah,
There needs to be small font, like Coachella headliner level of an amount of shit.
Yeah. Maybe like one little like spot where it says low ticket warning with the
That's
asterisk
right.
sign.
You love that. We love some of those. We get some of those. It's market to market. Yeah.
Dude, hopefully one day, you know?
Yeah.
I only go to Florida to really sell tickets. That's the only place.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah. I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I'm in the Bay Area. Like when I do like San Jose or San Francisco, there's nothing like
they all come
But then
out.
it's like you're doing a late show in Louisville, and you're like, okay, this might not be my strongest market.
Yeah. Have you noticed that when you go to Louisville, though, people come out and they're like, oh, I see your shit on like Instagram, or are they just random people that like just took a chance on like going to see a show?
It's usually a mix. Like it's club to club. Like some people like come from the club, or they'll say, oh, I know you're here, and then they go look at all your stuff, and that's the benefit of having so much content online is people can just, who's coming this weekend, and then look, I really like that you can make fans that way. And then I do, of course, every show I have, a dedicated fan base. The question is just how large.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. And then next time you go back, you got to come back with like a whole new hour.
Yeah.
Is that like your mentality? A lot of people don't do that though. A lot of people are like, I'll just stick to my act. Just keep doing that.
I think my mentality is a little bit in between. Like if I do really well in a market, I know that a bunch of those people are going to be back, then I really try to have it be at the very least mostly different.
Right.
But it does depend on how much I've turned over.
Right.
So like, I'm always writing and trying to get stuff there, but if it's not at the point that I think people should be paying to see it, then I'll throw in a few classics because I'm still growing at the point where it's like, a bunch of people will come and they'll have brought their friends this time, or 70% will be new people because I've grown over that time. So, put on the best show I can, keeping in mind everyone who's there and why they're there.
Yeah, because every time I go back to Fort Lauderdale, do the Dania Beach Improv, like we'll sell like over 300 tickets. And then the majority of the people that come is like 200 people that I know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, they've been coming to the show since I started doing them.
But they love it. Like
they love it
for them.
Yeah.
They're going and pre-gaming before.
They're the most wasted audience ever.
Awesome.
Like the bar's making so much money. Everybody's having a good time. But in my head, I'm like, I can't do the same 30 minutes you saw me do 6 months ago.
And that's perfect. It's a great reason to push yourself. Like that's when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I got to write new stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of why. I'm like, if there's anyone who's seen me and I know they're going to see me again in a few months, I want to have some heaters. I want every time someone sees me, I want them to be like, damn, I thought last time was good. This was great.
He topped it this time.
Yeah. That's kind of I know you're into golf. Like comedy is also, you're kind of like competing against yourself. It's like we don't always look at it that way when we're online, but like the real thing is like, how much better can you get?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, we are now comedians talking about
No, it's fine. No. Yeah, no, it'd be crazy if I was like, it's a traveling podcast. Let's just, where you been?
Shut the fuck up.
Where are you going?
Yeah.
No, we just can't do it naturally,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
But that's cool, man. Grew up in the Bay Area. I remember when I first met you, I think you were working for Chubby's
Yes.
at the same time. Yeah, I love Chubby's growing up.
Yeah, that was an awesome. I had like a bunch of until a few months ago. I always had a day job doing stand up for like a decade. So it was like I did recruiting, I did tech sales, and then Chubby's was the last gig I had for like 5 years, and it was a really cool company to work for while being a comedian. They let me do a podcast where we were writing like monologue jokes and doing sketches.
Yeah.
I got hired just to make sketches for them.
That's cool.
And it turned into like writing their emails and running social media and all that sort of stuff. But it was fun.
I remember the last time I wore a pair of Chubby's was we ordered the Ireland overalls.
Those are lovely.
Yeah, you remember those?
Yeah.
My buddies and I, we ordered those, then we bought tickets to St. Patrick's Day in Dublin.
Yeah.
And we flew out there, and like in the middle of the cold weather, we were just wearing those Irish
They
overalls.
must have loved it.
Yeah, people were loving it.
Yeah.
But people were also like, what the fuck
What
is going
that?
on?
Well, they're like, You're definitely Americans.
The Americans are here?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How was Dublin for St. Patrick's Day?
Well, you realize that St. Patty's Day is an American event. The Irish didn't even come up with it. We came up with it.
It's like the chalupa.
Yeah. No, we made it, and then the Irish were like, sure, I guess.
Yeah, it was just us being like, y'all like drinking, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool, because we're doing shots.
Yeah.
Yes, it's J-Mo.
Yeah, they're like, we can definitely build up our economy by boosting.
Is Cinco de Mayo real? Or
I think Cinco de Mayo, because that's Mexican Independence.
But I don't know if like they like light one candle and we're like, we gotta get hammered and have margs.
Oh, we
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they have Dios de los Muertos, which is our Halloween.
Yeah.
But to them, it's like a day of the
celebrating
souls.
the dead, and for us, it's like
who wants to be Batman?
Who wants a Mars bar? That is what America does best. Is we just every holiday we just take it and commercialize it somehow. Like Christmas is Jesus' birthday. It's actually Q4 is the biggest like shopping day of the year.
Yeah.
We did that. We took Halloween and made it about Marvel characters and fucking Mars bars.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be about dead people. But we don't like to think about that.
Yeah, no, and same thing. I mean, think about like even like on a lower scale, like Oktoberfest in Munich.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, it's just a beer drinking day. And we're like,
Yeah.
okay, but what's the catch? And they're like, well, you get to dress up like a moron.
Yeah.
In that lederhosen. And we're like, all right, we'll be there.
But they love it.
They love it.
They love in Germany. They do love Oktoberfest.
dude,
we
it's-
did not make that.
no, we were just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I love all that shit.
Oh, yeah,
We
dude.
did two of my main like modeling contributions when I was there. One of them was the lederhosen. That
Oh,
Chubby
really?
made. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Did you get to go to Oktoberfest to like?
No, we went to
Promote
like a
it?
German bar like in San Francisco and just took photos.
Oh, okay, yeah. It kinda-
But I would have
yeah.
loved. Yeah, I joined. There was a time at that company that I think a lot of companies had where it was like it was early on and they would just be like, let's do something crazy, let's break the internet, and they did like crazy trips to like Cabo and would like rent boats, and I missed all that. By the time I got there, they were an actual like profitable company looking to have a successful exit, and so we didn't get to do any of the fun things.
They were like,
why would we fly you to Germany to get drunk to take photos when you could just work with a professional photographer here? And I was like, that's racist.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
That's cultural appropriation.
We should have done this in Germany. The Germans are very sensitive about culture.
Oh, dude.
You know.
Over there, actually? Dude, yeah, there's like a whole thing where like we went over there.
They love it, but whenever they love it too much, it gets a little bad.
Dude, you can't chug beer over there.
No, really?
No, yeah. A couple of our buddies got kicked out for chugging beers.
What?
Yeah. It's kind of wild. It's like against like.
It's like, guys, you put people in chambers.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
gonna get mad at us for that? That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. I'm chugging a beer.
They're like, you don't understand. My buddy can chug a Stein in 3 seconds. That's talent.
I don't want the Germans doing anything that's anti-freedom ever again. I'm chugging this beer and you're shutting the fuck up, Adolf. Please. I don't
Dude.
like that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing they don't like to talk about either. They don't like to bring up the Holocaust.
No, and I get that.
Yeah. But like, come on.
It's a bit awk for them.
Yeah.
You know, I lived with a few Germans at one time, and I didn't realize, like, I had no concept of, like, it makes sense, but I just never thought about it from their perspective.
Yeah.
It's like we learn about World War II and we're like, we are fucking sick. And they learned about World War II and they were like, oh, the world is horrible.
Yeah.
So they have like a deep, deep sense of shame. Like, depending on the German, they're like, if they see a German flag, they're like, I don't know, we should
put that thing away.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see an American flag and we're like, absolutely,
Yeah,
come on.
dude. Yeah.
America forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I went to Berlin this past summer and it was just like brutal. The energy, you could just feel the energy there. That whole like war time has like not, the energy just has not left.
Oof.
It's weird. Hitler's bunker's a parking lot now to like an apartment complex.
People live
there. There's like an apartment complex built around, people are like parking there while we're all like with our tour guide, kind of just like listening in the earpiece.
Oh my God.
Yeah. People just parking to like go into like
parking their Volkswagen.
Yeah. It's like, parties at Klaus's house in room 401. And we're just like, did you know where you just parked actually?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And there's not really a lot of signage like around to basically
Paved
tell
Paradise, put up a parking lot.
you. Yeah.
Wow. They didn't preserve that as like a monument.
They don't like to.
I guess it's not like it would be a negative monument.
That's exactly
Like you can't. It's not pro. It's like look what happened. It's like it's like they kept Auschwitz because it's not fun, but it's like you should look at it.
I think the story is that they had it preserved for a bit, and then after a while, people were like, "Why are we keeping this?
Yeah.
This is so bad." And so they
You get
blew
one
it up.
parking ticket, and you're like, "Is that what we're preserving?"
Yeah.
We're preserving Hitler's bunker, and there's nowhere to park here.
There's literally handicapped parking spaces on top of where Hitler's bunker is, or it used to
Hey,
be.
they got the last laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Some guy who got his legs blown off in the war is just now allowed to park on top of Hitler's bunker.
Put like handicapped, like he was trying to get rid of a lot of people, right? It wasn't just the.
It was everybody that wasn't
I don't know.
German
it was,
Aryan
right?
race.
Yeah, but like also like was he bad with like slower people or handicapped people? I feel like
they don't say.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they don't. That'd be really funny if like he hated the blacks, he hated the Jews, and also retarded people.
Yeah. Hitler was not down with the downs, so it's like, yeah. Well, I guess they only held the real Olympics there.
Yeah. That's one thing they actually do have there. Yeah.
Bad guy though.
Yeah.
Did you like Germany?
No.
It's pretty low. I mean, I would like to go because I'd like to go almost anywhere, but it's kind of lower on my list.
Good comedy scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Good comedy scene. Great shows.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Paris?
I've been to Paris, not for comedy though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were
going to Paris and Barcelona.
Barcelona, great comedy.
Yeah, I did a show there actually last year.
Where? The Clubhouse?
Whatever the place is that has like a giant like
basement.
Yeah, it has like a giant bee
Yeah,
behind it.
yeah,
It looks like it was too cool. The setup was too cool for comedy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this is so sick. And then I got on stage and I was like, you guys want beats?
Yeah.
You don't want me? There's like a giant bumblebee like glowing thing behind me. You don't want me telling jokes.
Yeah, they're also just like new to comedy. Even
Yeah.
the audiences there, they're just like Netflix and YouTube has kind of like changed the game in a way where like they know they like it.
Yeah.
But they don't know anything else beyond that. They're like, I just know this is funny.
Yeah.
This is fun.
It's interesting when you realize how much of like I would be like, oh, my comedies like I talk about pretty universal concepts, and then I go there and I go with drastically American references in every joke because I'm going through my set and I'm like, oh fuck, I got to shave 3 minutes off that. That whole joke doesn't work. That whole segment's not going to work. And they know American politics, but like some references aren't because you're talking about something. They're just like an aside.
Right. Yeah. But you also got to like give
They're
them.
gonna look at you like you're an idiot.
Yeah. But some of them are like a lot of expats.
Yeah.
So like we were there co-headlining a show at the Comedy Clubhouse, and like we were on stage like doing like a duo thing at the end, and then we are like, who's from America? And, like we got a bunch of woos, and like we're like, where are you from? And they're like, oh, one guy was like, I'm from LA. We're like, what the hell are you doing out here? And he's like, I've just been living here the past like 5 years.
Was Comedy Clubhouse sick?
Yeah, it's sick. And the
Okay,
booker's
I
from
will-
New York.
Oh, amazing.
I'll give you the information.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'll be out there this summer. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a nice little like. Speaking of bunkers, it's like a fucking bunker, literally. Like you walk
Hitler's
in.
bunker.
Yeah, it's in Hitler's old bunker. Hitler had a bunker in Barcelona, and the Comedy Clubhouse.
Yeah, I love
took
that.
that over.
It's great. It's great for comedy. Low ceilings. A bunker is a good place.
Yeah, dude.
comedy.
It's so funny. Yeah, we co-headlined that, and then we thought because they were like, oh yeah, we'll give you the 8 o'clock spot, and I was like, 8 o'clock on a Friday in Barcelona. It's great.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and I asked the guy, I'm like, how many tickets do we
early
have
show.
sell? Yeah, I go, how many tickets do we sell? The guy goes, you got like 10. I go, oh, so like, what do you guys, like a walk-up scene? Like a lot of people walk up and buy tickets at the last minute. He goes, Now. People usually buy tickets online. They're pretty good about that. And I was like,
He's like,
so what, is this like light for today? Is it because we're nobodies? And he goes, no, you're just early, you know? And I was like, 8 o'clock is early on a Friday? And he's like, yeah, people don't really start getting going until like about 10. The 10 o'clock show's sold out. I'm like, what? Like, come on,
it's so
dude.
confusing to me, though, because we kind of had a similar experience where it's like everything doesn't get started till later. It's like, okay, well, we can't get started too early, but then you try to get started too late and not everything is open. So you kind of have to know the right places, because a lot of bars and restaurants will shut down because they're like, we're not part of that. And it's like, it's a mind fuck. It's like, I'm just trying to get hammered. I'm an American. Just let me get drunk.
Just come on. Yeah. And Miami has the same problem. Like, have you ever heard about the Miami Improv? I
did a show there. Yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, did you not start on time?
I don't remember if we started on time or not, but it's an interesting room because it's like, it's in Miami, but it's in Doral, right? And so it's like...
Doral.
I don't know. Dorale.
All the Spanish people listen to this, all my brothers and sisters. I apologize for him. Lo siento.
Poor gringo. I will be back in April, so come on down to Doral, Florida. But yeah, it's like you kind of have to, like, it's Miami. It's similar to what I was saying about the Barcelona club. It's like, do you even want comedy? I mean, obviously there are a lot of comedy fans there, but for anyone who's just trying to enjoy their night, it's like, it's Miami. You want to be wearing like a fucking white suit and doing coke and having a good time.
Yeah. You want to go to 11.
You don't want to necessarily come out to Doral.
Yeah. You want to just be on South Beach.
Yeah.
That's why I say
Miami's awesome though.
Miami is great.
Yeah.
I'm a Fort Lauderdale boy though, so it's like we grew up just beach bums. You know what I mean? Like wearing board shorts to the bars, flip flops.
Yeah.
You know, just having a good night.
Yeah, I'm doing Arts Garage. Is this a place in Delray Beach? Is that near Fort?
That's like 30 minutes up.
Oh, okay. So it's somewhere else.
That's cool too.
But I'll be down there in April.
That's great.
JoeyAvery.com.
We'll plug it at the end. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, that Miami is just, it's like it was a cool experience because I was like, this feels like a different travel experience.
Was that your first time there?
Yeah, I'd never been.
When did you go? Last year?
Like, I think a year ago, March.
Yeah.
Unless it was 2 March. No, I think it was last March.
Yeah. And that was your first time.
Yeah. And I was in a boot because I had a torn Achilles.
Oh my God.
So I'm like trying to like live Miami life and I'm like
you can't.
hobbling around.
You can't.
No swag.
Swag.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah. No, the comics down there are really cool. It's like a growing scene.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of people that's just been doing it for like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And then you got like old guys that have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
That just like stay down there and you're just like, all right. You know?
Yeah, there are guys that have like big followings, but specifically in Miami.
Yeah.
Like, is it Carlos Hernandez?
Carlos Hernandez.
Yes.
Yeah, good buddy of ours.
He's like a Miami.
Yeah.
When you go to Miami, you pay your respect.
He's Mr. Miami. Yeah. We just did a show together in Fort Lauderdale right before I left for the holidays, and he was hosting it, and he was just like not having a good time with these people because it's just like Miami and Fort Lauderdale people are so different, and he's very Miami.
Very Miami.
Yeah. So all these Fort Lauderdale people looking at him like
Cuban.
I'm sure you're hilarious, but like, we don't get the references.
Have you been to Cuba?
Never been to Cuba.
I have.
Really? What'd you think?
I went to. I mean, it was incredible. It was very fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the most unique travel experiences that you can have, and it is mind-blowing when you consider how close to the United States it is, given how different it is. Obviously, we have a lot to do with that,
right?
Historically and politically.
Yeah.
What we do to a communist country that's that close to us. But it was very fascinating. The thing I'll say, if anyone's interested in going, is like, make sure you or someone in your group speaks Spanish. Because I don't, but the other, like, I mean, I can like
put two and two together.
Because I've been to like Mexico City, like if I'm and I took Spanish, if I'm around it for a few days, I pick it up, but it's not like good.
Yeah. You're like, I've been to Pollo Tropical before.
Yeah.
I've been to Chipotle enough times.
Look, guac is extra. Like, if I ask a question, like, I know the question, but then if the answer starts coming at me fast, I just default. I always go, and I know that the grammar's horrible, but I'm like, lo siento, mi español es en la basura. You know? It's in the trash. But it was helpful that we had someone there because it's not like one of those travel experiences where you can just go and not speaking the language is fine. Like, you need to know what you're doing.
Did you hire somebody or did you just go with somebody?
I went with a few guys.
Oh, okay. So it was a buddy trip.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
You like it's one of the cooler trips I've taken in terms of just being like, the world is crazy.
Yeah.
Different. And people have very different perspectives on the government there, you know, because some people are like, oh, the U.S., you guys screwed everything up. And then other people are like, help me.
Yeah, please get me out of here. Yeah. You heard about that guy who was in the World Baseball Classic? He was playing for Cuba, and then then they finished when Cuba got knocked out, because the championship was in Miami, at the Marlins Stadium. When Cuba got knocked out, he kind of he stuck around. And he didn't get on the plane. He just claimed asylum, and no one told him to go away.
That's
like, all right,
yeah. I think there's a history of that. Like, other people have tried to do it. I can see why you would.
Yeah.
You know?
But you hear it's so beautiful over there too. So it's like there's like a part of it where you're like, oh, this is gorgeous, but then there's like another part where you're like, oh, I get it. I get why I'd want to leave.
Obviously I don't know the story, and I can't
neither.
speak for him, but
Right.
it's one of those like relatively complex things. I'm sure he loves home. I'm sure he misses home, and a lot of that is like your hometown and your local beach and your family and friends, and you care about all that, and there's no place like home. But if you're trying to provide a better life for all of those people, and you're this far away from a place where you can actually make money and change their lives, it's an equation. Like, we went to Vinales, which is where they do a lot of like growing of the tobacco for the, you know, famous Cuban cigars,
Of course.
and the guy gives us the whole tour, and he's showing us how they grow it and how they dry it, and we're smoking stogs, and it's awesome. And then at the end, he was basically like, yeah, so, you know, twice a year we call it our saddest day, and that is when the government comes and takes 80% of our product and doesn't pay us for it. And I was like,
And you're like, well, anyway, this one's really good.
Yeah. I'm liking this one. That guy just say they're free? That's awesome. Cuba kicks ass.
I've been smoking Romeo and Juliet's from 7-Eleven for the past 7 years. Where the hell have you been?
Rules, dude. God damn it. Thank you, Lupe.
Dude, Lupe, you got to get your ass to the Bay Area. We need you out there. And he's like, God fucking damn it, I'm going to strangle you.
Yeah, but they were so cool. I mean, it was like you'd meet, like, the way it works, because there's not a super, like, there is a tourism ecosystem, but it's not a developed industry. If you go to Cuba and you stay in a hotel, that is run by the government. So if you don't want to give all of your money to the Cuban government, then what you do is you stay, I forget what it's called. They have a word for it, but it's basically like a bed and breakfast. But it's not like an Airbnb. It's
Right.
like you stay with a family.
Yeah.
You get to know them. They come downstairs and like make you like a fruit plate breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
And you basically live in their place, and then they'll be like, do you need a ride? And then like their friend will come in an old car, and that'll be your driver. And so like people have these little networks that they have set up, and so you kind of you get all your stuff done by like, oh, my friend owns this restaurant, and my friend is a driver and can do this and go to this bar and all that. It's really it's a unique experience.
Because it's fairly new, too. I feel like because tourism there just really opened up after Fidel died, I feel like.
I think it was, Obama administration.
Yeah. So they're still trying to figure out how to even welcome tourists.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure if Trump was going to shut it down. Like, we got in, I think we went right before Trump, or it was Trump, and we saw he was like futzing around with it, and so we kind of like went for I think you can still go, but at the time we were worried it was like a buzzer beater.
Yeah,
so we were
yeah.
like, let's get in.
Let's just go. This is the one place in the world.
Yeah, a friend, a comedian in the Bay Area, Emily Van Dyke, she's very funny. She, at the time, was engaged to or married a guy from Havana. So she had like the hookup.
Right.
So that's what I would say is if you're going to go, you need to like know someone who knows someone,
Yeah.
and then you can get access to the whole, you know.
Yeah, but you don't miss out on anything.
Yeah.
People, they'll take you to all the cool places. That's cool. What was the occasion? Did you go with like just friends?
I went with
Just for like a
It
random-
was friends. Yeah, it was friends, but it was like a unique group. It was like one guy that I'd worked with, another guy that I had lived with in South Africa.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then another guy's friend who he didn't know.
Yeah.
But that's the type of trip that like
Yeah.
you don't know one guy, but by day 3 you're like, we're fucking brothers.
Yeah. No one will ever get to experience what we...
No one will ever take this from us.
Wait, you lived in South Africa?
That's where I started stand-up.
Really?
Yeah,
Good scene down there, too.
Yeah.
Robbie Collins, a good buddy of mine.
Oh, really? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about the scene because it was when I was in college. I got to do a semester at University of Cape Town when I was finishing up at UC San Diego.
Yeah.
And that's where I started stand-up. So I was like just trying new things. I had like a radio show and all this, and then I started stand-up out there. And so it's hard to know the scene when it was like the first 3 shows I ever did.
For sure.
Was my entire knowledge of it. But it was cool because Trevor Noah hadn't got the Daily Show yet. And I was like, who's the guy down here? And they're like, oh, Trevor Noah. You got to look this guy up. And then, like a year later, he's got the Daily Show. And I'm like, they were right.
Yeah. And now he's kind of like, I don't know, like the new... I think he's like the second coming of like Chappelle, people say pretty much. I don't know.
Is that what
I don't know.
are saying?
I mean, people treat Trevor like he's like up there on like that list.
That's interesting.
He opens for Chappelle too. He like goes on the road with him and stuff.
He does. That's interesting because I feel like their fan bases are different. I feel like Trevor's fan base would almost be like, he's hanging out with Dave.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I watch Trevor and I'm just like, man, it doesn't really do it for me, but like I get it.
I saw him live because like my mom loves comedy. So for like Christmas and stuff, I'll buy her tickets, and he was in San Francisco. And we went to the show and he opened a little slow and I was kind of like, we'll see. And then it's one of those things. I haven't even watched the Netflix special. I have no idea if I would enjoy it, but in the room for an hour, I was like, that was good.
You get it.
Yeah. You get it.
Yeah.
And I always say that to people. Like, if you think someone's famous and you're not, maybe you don't like them, so you don't need to buy tickets to a show.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I don't even get it, they're not funny.
Yeah.
Be in the room one time.
Yeah.
Let me know if you still feel that way. Because sometimes Netflix will hit you in a weird mood. You're dying to be on your phone. Someone's yammering on about some crap. You're like, this sucks. I'm done.
You're 15 minutes in. You're just like,
yeah. Go to an actual show before you fully count somebody out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he crushed.
Yeah. And so just being in South Africa though, like, I don't know, like, is that like a place in your mind, like growing up where you're like, I just want to check that place out, or like?
No, it was basically like when I went to college, I thought I was going to be a baseball player, and then
I
didn't end up making the team, and it's like got me into the school, so I was like trying to figure out like who I was. I had like a buzz cut. I was like doing P90X in the morning, like meditating, like who am I?
Yeah.
And my brother had studied abroad in London, and I saw it like totally changed him in a really positive way. And, I would talk to my parents and I was like, look, you extended him this privilege. I would like to cash in my white privilege on this, and, they were basically like, yeah, if you do a few things, we can like figure it out, sort of thing. And I was like, okay, awesome. I'm going to try and do this. But I wasn't totally sure. And then I narrowed it down because I only speak English.
Yeah.
South Africa was a place that I was like, it was kind of perfect. I was like, it's far away. I don't know anyone who's really been,
right,
which was enticing to me. I know once I get there, it'll be affordable. It's like expensive to get there.
Yeah,
once
of course.
You're living there, you can like live on a pretty chill budget. And I also like had cool like beachy vibes, and I was very into, I'd been reading a book about Mandela at the time, and there were just a lot of like swirling things where it just kind of started popping up. And, I was in college. One time I did like shrooms, and it was like, you have to go. And I was like, all right.
That's it. Yeah. Shrooms will just change your mind on anything.
Sometimes it just clarifies, right?
Yeah.
You're just lying there, and it feels like something is speaking to you, and it's like, that's next. And I was like,
yeah. Even like the day after taking shrooms, you just feel like so clear.
Yeah.
After like a good night on shrooms.
Yeah.
Like I woke up after like a night of going out in like Mykonos. And we took shrooms like all night, whatever. And then the next morning I wake up, my friends are like still dead on the couch, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go walk around the town. And I'm walking around, I'm smiling at everybody. I'm walking into shops like, how's it going?
That's
like,
awesome.
It's good. And then I remember looking at this restaurant, and I'm like, there was this like this seat like right on like the edge of like the restaurant, and where it like met the ocean. And I was like, I'm gonna sit right there and get a nice breakfast. And that's what I did. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was just like
solo journey. And that's, I think shrooms for me can either take me clarity or confused. Like, if I'm confused, it's bad. I'm just like, I don't know. This is weird. Something's off. Yeah. I can have one where I'm like seeing everything clearly, and then that hits. I don't really know what it is, but when it's clear, it's the best because you have like a refreshed, and especially, I've never been to Mykonos, but it looks incredible.
It's great. Yeah.
When you have that refreshed perspective, because we always forget, it's kind of a dumb thing to say, but we forget that we're living on a planet in space a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking about what I need to do.
Yeah.
You have a good like re-perspective shift. And then you're like, I'm alive. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the ocean, which is full of animals. Full of crazy things.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to enjoy this. Like, that's the best.
Yeah.
That's why you play the game.
Dude, it was one of those moments too, especially because that was my 3rd time there in the last 6 years. Yeah, the first time we ever went was 2017. So I was like thinking to myself as I was sitting on like the edge of that restaurant, like just looking out at the ocean, I was just like, I was texting all my friends in a group chat. I'm like, all the people that went on the first trip we ever went to in 2017. I was like, how did we come here before we even turned 21? Like, this is crazy. Like, what the fuck were we doing? I was just like so appreciative of everything. I was like, God damn, this is awesome.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you've been there how many times?
That was like my 3rd time. My 3rd time going, yeah. It's kind of like,
I want to go.
Go.
Yeah.
I tell everybody to go.
I'm obsessed with the cuisine.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I'm going back in August.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going back.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Not?
Yeah.
Why not?
We filmed a bonus episode yesterday over here with just me and Patty, and I was just talking about, because my buddy Stu hit me up the other day. He goes, we got to go back. Like, let's just go back. And I was like, all right, let's go back.
Go back.
He's like, let's do Ibiza, Mykonos, and then Dublin, because Florida State's playing Georgia Tech in their season opener in Dublin.
Oh, my God.
So we were like, let's build a trip around that. And I was like, I'll do Ibiza again. Let's go. How much do we need? And he goes, we need about 20 grand to have a good time. And I'm like, God damn it.
20's
So,
a lot.
Yeah. So I'm trying
Jesus
to we're trying to get like all of our friends to come in and maybe get like 7 of us to kind of like split it.
Oh, 20 across.
20
the
across.
group. So
20
however
across.
many people you get signed up, chips away at the 20.
Chips away at the 20.
You should get 20.
Today, everybody just goes $1,000.
Now we're fucking cooking.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that when you travel big, like we've traveled.
No, I mean, that's a disaster.
Dude, we traveled 18 deep for like the longest time. And every time we go over there, it's just like.
Create microclimates. You're like, we can't do this unless one person is type A and wants to be renting vans and buses and shit.
Somebody's got to pull the trigger on something.
So what's the 20K numbers? Like, we need to have tables everywhere to enjoy Ibiza.
Well, because you know what the thing is
Are you
like
single?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got it. But here's the thing, because like once you taste that,
you can't go back.
You can't go back.
Yeah, I'm in an in-between realm where I'm like, I'm too cheap to like pay for a table.
But you're
married.
But you're a fun guy.
But I'm a fun guy.
Yeah.
So like, I kind of go for the lady pass, where it's like I'm hoping to get famous enough that I'm an asset.
Yeah.
And so you want me at your table.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
I got the moves.
Yeah.
You know? He's only going to bring good things. You know, I'll bring things to the table. I'm not going to fuck you. You know, I'm not a hot lady.
No.
But I'm not going to be a drag, and a lot of them are.
I want to be a good vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, we went to Ibiza 2 years ago now. We went to we did Running with the Bulls in Pamplona, and then we flew to Ibiza like the day of Running with the Bulls, just after that. Ran in the morning and then hopped on a plane, went to Ibiza, dropped $8 grand between 9 of us on like a table at Ushuaia, which is like one of like their biggest clubs, whatever. And we just watched Calvin Harris like all night.
Oh, I love Calvin.
And then from there, went right across the street to High Ibiza, had another table. We were just like blowing our money. But it was like, you're at these tables. It's not even about like the ladies. It's not about the booze. It's just like
the space and the view.
Space. It's the space.
Yeah. And the access to drinks.
Yes.
Like being able to enjoy without having to like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, no, trust me. I am looking, because I was talking to a buddy of mine last night, because like we were just talking about, you know, how like we're just such bad networkers.
Yeah.
Like I love comedy. Like comedy's going great. Having a good time. Get
but
more
you're
opportunities.
Running with the Bulls and shit.
But like in terms of like networking with like people, or like even talking to women, like you could be the hottest girl ever. You could be like, oh, that girl wants you so bad. She's sitting right there. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, really? And I'm like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave her there. And if she comes over to me, fine. But I am not.
I was never good.
So like I'm at the VIP table watching Calvin Harris. I'm with my boys having a good time.
Yeah.
There's hot girls everywhere at Ibiza. I'm looking down and we're like, oh, maybe we should get some girls. But I'm looking at them. I'm like, I'm fine.
Well, that's the thing is like now what do I Calvin Harris is on. People pay good money to see Calvin Harris. I'm going to be like being like, so do you like it here?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from?
That's cool. Have some drinks. Okay, cool. And then you're literally going, I kind of want to be listening to Calvin Harris right now.
Yeah.
Like maybe during an opener or something. You almost, that's.
You just want to enjoy the moment.
It's funny. The funny concept about tables is they don't work unless a bunch of other people are having a miserable time.
Right.
If you walk into a club that isn't a crowded, messy shit pit, you're like, well, I don't want to pay for a table. I could just hang out.
Just hang out.
So it requires, I think a lot of the good things in life require other people suffering so that you can differentiate from it.
Yeah. Well, that's
horrible.
That's the funny thing about this place is that when we walked in, the lady who like the hostess, she brings you your table and then she hands you like a bunch of bands and she goes, you can bring as many ladies in here as you want. And then hands us like an unlimited amount of wristbands.
And you were like, you have come to the wrong place.
so like, but in the respect of like going back to the whole Cuba thing, we're like looking at people who are like, help me. It's the same thing. You're just looking at women who are like in general admission, just looking up like, please get me out of here. And you're like, come on, you're coming with us.
I don't think I've probably, I don't know, out my ass, I've probably been to like 12 countries. I don't know if I've met a woman.
There was one time my buddy and we were in Budapest. We were going back to our hostel.
That's a great.
It's a great spot. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we were walking back into our hostel, whatever. We were staying at like this party hostel, so we thought these people were like, oh, cool, you can bring back. Because usually hostels don't let you bring back random people.
Right.
Because if somebody gets robbed, it's on the hostel pretty much. And they don't want to just decrease liability. But my buddy brings home this girl, whatever. We're like, it's a party hostel, whatever. And she walks in, and the guy who runs the hostel is just like this runaway guy. It's just a hostel for runaways, pretty much.
Right.
And this guy sees the lady and goes, no, anybody but her. And my buddy goes, what happened? And he goes, she's a gypsy. She's a gypsy. And everybody goes, what? And then you see this girl just like run off. And we're just like, dude, how did you pick the only homeless woman in this fucking city? What is the matter with you? And he goes, I don't know. I don't know. I thought she was loving my life. I didn't know she wanted money. I would have given her some money too. Whatever.
Dude, a gypsy with game? I don't even know what you do with that.
Yeah.
She's so different. She just goes with the flow. Yeah. She loves camping.
Yeah. My buddy was like, dude, that guy sucked, man. He ruined everything. I go, dude, he kind of saved you. She would have robbed us all. He goes, nah, man, she was cool.
Did you ever go to a Sparta party out the hot where you go to the Sparty baths? And dude, that was one of the craziest experiences of my life. You go and the entire party is in a hot tub in a historic bathhouse, and you put your money on a card and it just like hangs around your neck and you can swipe it and get drinks, and everyone just parties in a giant hot tub.
Yeah, I was talking
crazy.
I was talking to Patty about that last night because I was like, that was my friends and I. We have this funny saying. We're like, if you are a city or like a little town that has like a big event where like the party's cool, and then you capture that, put it on YouTube, and then put an EDM song behind it.
Oh my God.
We're watching that in America going, we should go there.
Have they not done it?
Dude, and so Sparty did that. They
Good.
put that, their whole thing is like the Sparty after movie of like, I think it was like we went in 2019, so it was like around that time we saw that we gotta go.
Yeah.
And so we were like, the whole trip to Budapest was like for this. And then when we got there, we were so underwhelmed. We were like, this is...
The concept of it
great.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
But then you get there and it's kind of a bunch of people in a tub.
That's it. Yeah.
And you're like... It's still like a great story. Like you just heard how I told the story.
Yeah.
It's easier to explain than... We ducked into this one like really cool local bar and like the vibes were perfect and we got drunk and it was awesome. Like that's not a story, but it's the most fun you're going to have.
Right.
But then it's like, dude, we're going to go to this thing. And like I went to the baths during the day too. It was fun, but yeah, it was kind of just like no one was really like mingling.
No.
And people are kind of floating around and you kind of meet people, but it's a little creepy to like swim up to a gal in a hot tub.
Yeah.
I think the most fun part was when it was time to go and all the dudes hit the locker room and started singing Mr. Brightside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Isn't that the funniest thing? Like music is universal like that, where you're like, this is your favorite song too?
Well, I learned in a tough way in Budapest that not all music is universal. So me and my friend were like, we're going to do karaoke. Because we walk in, there's a bar, karaoke's going.
You big karaoke guy?
It's a big karaoke guy. And it's popping.
Yeah.
It's a hot room.
Yeah.
And we walk in and someone's doing Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
And dude, the place is, everyone is singing it.
Everybody.
Everyone's up. And then they're like, okay, what song do you guys want to do? And we were next. And we're like, oh my God, we need a banger. And look, I'm not going to say it was the right choice, but we were like, what's universal, what's a song people will know. We did Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Worst bomb of my life.
I could have told you that.
I didn't. I was young.
Yeah.
I know now. Now I have my like EP that I could absolutely send it with.
Yeah.
But at the time, no, it was an abject failure. We're both singing. We realize it's going poorly like 10 seconds in.
Yeah.
But we look at each other. We have to finish the song. We finish the song. The bar has gone back to doing other things. Like no one wants us there. We hand the guy our microphones. There was a door behind us. We didn't say a word. We both just spun and left forever.
And you're like, we didn't even go back to get our suitcases. We actually got on a plane and we went back to America.
Haven't been hungry since.
Dude, yeah. My cousin has the greatest karaoke story. He was in Toronto with his buddy Sean, who's from Toronto, and they were walking around, and because Sean was showing my cousin like the whole town, whatever. And then he was like, they passed by this karaoke spot, and my cousin was like, "Oh, let's go sing karaoke." And Sean was like, "I don't sing karaoke."
Yeah.
And my cousin was like, "Dude, Sean, like, come on, like, don't be like that. Like, don't be that guy. It's fun. Come on, it'll be fun." He goes, No. I don't do it because I'm too good." And my cousin was like, "Okay, fucking, let's see it."
Legend.
Fucking Michael Jordan of karaoke. All right, let's go see it. So he goes, "All right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna sing one song. It's gonna go great, and then we're gonna fucking leave. We're not sticking around." And my cousin was like, "All right, cool." So then they go in. He signs up. A few minutes go by. They call him up. They go, "Sean Weinerman to the stage," and he goes, "All right, I'll be right back." Goes up on stage. The guy, obviously, everybody gets quiet. Whatever. The guy, the DJ, basically plays the song. It ends up being Billy Joel. We Didn't Start the Fire, and gets ready to cue. And then Sean takes off his shirt and then ties it around his eyes so he can't see it. And then he turns around, back facing the audience with the microphone still in his hand, and he just did not miss. He did not miss one fucking stanza. And the whole crowd is like, Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, and everybody's like, "Oh!" Like, had the whole place. "We didn't start the fire. It was always my..." And then the whole crowd's going crazy. He finishes the song. It was flawless. Finishes the song, hands the DJ back the microphone, puts his shirt back on, and then grabs my cousin. He goes, "Come on, we're out." That was it. And he was like, "That's why I don't go."
That's the most bizarre story of all time. Because it's crazy to believe that someone is so bashful about their karaoke skill that they don't want to enter a bar because they simply must remove their shirt and tie it around their head
he's
like he's
Bert
at
Kreischer.
Guantanamo Bay. Dude, that's insane.
Yeah. But Billy Joel, We Didn't Start the Fire. There's some
he's
songs.
just like, and he doesn't want his flowers.
He doesn't want his flowers.
The shirt has to come off.
Yes.
I can only perform in a certain way. I gotta leave it all on the field.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna receive the praise.
Yeah. To this day,
It's a sick man. That guy has bodies in the basement.
He's got problems.
Yeah. Problems. Not one of them, karaoke.
Actually, he just moved to New York City, I heard recently.
Really?
Yeah. We should coordinate something.
We should spring karaoke on.
Yeah. I should have my cousin
be like,
time
"No, don't worry, we're just gonna have a good time. We're just gonna go black out at a karaoke bar." Ha! What's your go-to song?
I go, if I'm doing it with friends, we do All the Small Things, Blink-182.
Yeah.
Because we've had good experiences with that. And then if I'm going by myself, I do Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten.
That's a good one. That's a really nice one.
Yeah. Oh, and then when I was younger in college, I would do, I won a lip syncing competition for doing Kelly Clarkson, Breakaway.
Okay, so you've got kind of a realm.
I got a little realm. Yeah. But the Unwritten Natasha Bedingfield is kind of the go-to.
Everyone has the one. You got your bottom bitch.
Yeah. No, it's a good time.
Yeah.
But there was one time we were in New Orleans for my buddy's 21st birthday, and three of us, we paid $50 to like skip the line at Cat's Meow, which is like the best karaoke bar on Bourbon Street. And we get up on stage, whatever, and there was like this whole like bridal party there because like somebody had just gotten married, and so it's packed, like 3-story bar. You love it, like as a karaoke guy, like if you're going to New Orleans at any time, go to Cat's Meow. It's the best.
Okay.
So we sign up, we do all the small things. We get up on stage. It's going great. The whole place knows the whole song. It's great, whatever. And my buddy, like during the guitar solo, he goes, "Dude, that bridesmaid's been eye-fucking me the whole time." He goes, "I swear to God." And we're just like, "All right, do something about it." And like, so at like the top of like of the solo, you just hear like da-da, 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 boom, boom, and then he brings the bridesmaid up on stage, drops her down, makes out with her, sends her back to the crowd. She crowd surfs, and then we're all like, "Say it ain't so, I will not go, turn the lights off," and we're all just like, "Carry me home," and the whole crowd is like, "Holy shit, dude, yeah."
That is unbelievable.
That was like one of the best times.
Fine line between a felony and the perfect
Yeah.
karaoke
Yeah.
is razor thin.
Yeah.
That must have been a thorough eye fucking.
Oh,
to have
yeah.
the confidence to just
Like out of a fucking movie, like the kissing,
awesome.
like the kissing sailor in.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I went to NOLA for my best friend's bachelor party, so
Yeah.
I was the best man.
Yeah.
And this was the craziest. This is the craziest experience I've had at a sporting event. Well, I don't know. I've had a few good ones, but we do like an all day, like we're partying all day. And so we're like getting tired. It's like nighttime. People are dragging. And so we're like, all right, we gotta figure it out because we're going to the Pelicans game.
Okay.
We just have like nosebleeds, right?
Yeah.
The groom's brother-in-law, apparently, I don't know, has money and was like, I'm buying floor seats for me and the groom.
To ditch everybody else.
To ditch everybody else.
Okay.
So we're like, okay, fine, whatever. But we're all kind of tired, you know. People are battling up there in the nosebleeds. We can see the groom down there. We're like, all right, that's pretty cool. Good for him. He's having a good time. He's wearing a hat that says "Same Vagina Forever," like on live TV, like in the front, like feet on the floor of an NBA game.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah. Same Vagina Forever hat. Looking great. I look ridiculous at the time. I have like a shitty, like wispy mustache. I'm wearing a white turtleneck with like a bunch of chains and then like a white bucket hat.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a scene. My friend, who has done very well for himself, is like, "Hey man, come with me. I want to grab a beer." And I'm like, "Yeah." I like stretch my legs. I get up and he goes, "I just bought us the 2 floor seats next to them." And I was like, "You're kidding." And I'm like, "Me?" And he's like, "Yeah, you looked like you'd be the most fun person to go." And I was like, oh my God. Then we go from like nosebleeds, walk down. The only time I've ever sat on the floor of an NBA game.
Yeah.
And we were just a scene. It was like me and my turtleneck and my hat, you know, looking like I sell women on the street. My friend with the "Same Vagina Forever" hat. It was unbelievable.
Dude, damn. You like yelling at players or you like keeping your composure?
We were so happy to be there.
Yeah.
You know, we probably got a few chirps off, but we were pretty like mesmerized by the whole thing.
Dude, that's fucking wild. I've never sat floor at a game.
I mean, yeah, it's
something to experience.
It's a definitely a you gotta know someone scenario unless you're caked up. Like,
Yeah, because they say they
expensive.
Yeah, I know. Like, how much money is he dropping in that moment?
Yeah,
Probably like 10 grand.
done well.
I just have the brother-in-law. He's like, "Me and the groom are out of here. See you losers later." And we're like, "No, we'll see you in about 20 minutes."
Yeah.
Yeah, just right behind.
Yeah, I know. Everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah,
So
like-
then they've lost 4 key contributors to the party.
Yeah.
I think my friend like napped for most of the game. I would say basketball game's not generally the thing to add to a
Bachelor party. Yeah, it's just too slow paced. You're just like
I think
dying.
people overpack it. Like you want to do a lot of things, but you need to have a decent amount of sanctioned downtime if you go hard, which most of my friends do, especially in that environment.
Otherwise, you're just not going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a bachelor party?
Yes.
What
yeah.
was your
Cabo.
Cabo.
I'd never been to Cabo.
Okay, yeah.
It was awesome.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah, it's like you can party as hard as you want. You can chill by the beach. We had a pool, a view. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah. Did you make the itinerary or you had your best man do it?
My best man was my brother and
Okay, great.
also my friend who I was telling you about his bachelor party in New Orleans. He had been to Cabo and really helped kind of put a lot of it together.
he was like,
he
oh,
knows like,
yeah.
and he's great. Like, I can do research, but I love traveling with someone who's like, I've been reading about the restaurants here for 6 months.
That's what you want.
Yeah, and I'm like, good. And they're like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I think you've thought about it more than me, and I'm not picky, so
Who cares?
let's get it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
I'm pretty like, I'm relatively easy to impress because I think most things are like, I'm just like, oh, this is cool. I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
No matter how many places I've gone, I'm like still kind of, unless somewhere really sucks, I'm usually like, wow, this is awesome.
Was there a place you went to where you were like, fuck it, I want to get the fuck out of here?
Mostly doing comedy.
Yeah. Just like in America, yeah.
Even that, like, I actually, one of the things I like about comedy is like just going places I never would have gone, and like,
sure.
I'll have fun myself. Like, I was talking shit about Louisville earlier, but like, I had no friends there. Sometimes I'll go somewhere, you have a friend, it's like the greatest thing ever, and they're, you know, whatever. But in Louisville, I had no one there. I didn't have anything to do. I literally bought tickets to the Louisville football game. I went by myself. I had shows. I'm not even drinking. I'm just like having a water and like wandering around, just like watching.
You're just with all these college kids, like,
and just seeing.
Yeah.
Or even more interesting is like Southern drunk dads. You know,
Yeah.
There's a lot to witness.
Yeah.
I went to a Clemson game also by myself.
In Clemson?
Yeah.
In Greenville?
Wake Forest at Clemson, and my buddy is a quarterbacks coach, and so he got me the hookup, so I got free tickets to this event. So I'm sitting in the Wake Forest like parents section.
Yeah.
But it was cool to go to, see Clemson run down the hill.
ACC rivalry game too.
Yeah.
At Death Valley.
The tailgate was crazy. I did realize there's a limit on how much fun you can have by yourself not drinking at a tailgate where you're not invited to any tailgate. Because I was just walking, observing, enjoying all of it, wanted to see all of it. But I was like, I brought this to about a 15% of like, wow, this is fascinating and I'm glad I'm here. But if I was like getting hammered and I knew someone who was putting on the tailgate, I'd be at 100.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, this is my tailgate now. Yeah, you're running it.
Yeah.
My first time at Clemson, we were sophomores in college. We were going to the Florida State Clemson game. We took like a road trip with our whole fraternity. Then when we got there, FSU started to lose like immediately. And my buddy were like, fuck this. We can't be around this campus wearing FSU stuff. So we went to the Clemson student store and we bought Clemson gear. We bought Clemson girlfriend shirts, you know what I mean? Because they're like $20.
That's amazing.
Cheap. And then we were just like, yeah, we blended now. Let's go run around. And we got into all the frats. We were like, what's going on?
Do it.
Go to TD's, get the Clemson Goodnight. That's like their drink on campus. And back then too, it's just like, I would still, even watching Florida State games, like we have our drink. It was like the Y bomb, which is like a poke a hole in a Red Bull and then you shotgun some vodka in it. But like Clemson Goodnight, it was like one of those drinks where it was like, oh, we put like 2 Red Bulls in it. It's a pitcher of like, you got like your liquors. There's like 3 different liquors in it and then all this. And we're like, oh my God. We're like, so what happens after you drink? They're like, you drink one of them, you're ending up with a pizza on your face.
Okay.
And we're like, all right, we'll take 2. We'll take, yeah. Like, because we go here.
Did you go to Florida State?
I went to Florida State, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Oh, dude, it was great.
Yeah, I went to UC San Diego, which had like no vibe. Like,
really?
Well, look, it's awesome because it's in San Diego.
Yeah.
But it's got no football team. All the sports at the time were D2. They moved to D1. But like, it's kind of it's the nerd school of San Diego. So there's San Diego State, fun.
SDSU.
Party. STDSU is what we jokingly call it.
Oh, STD. Yeah.
But it's SDSU.
Yeah.
And then USD is like the rich kids school, so it's like really nice and like private. And then UC San Diego is like a really good school, but it's full of generally upset, frequently Asian people who are mad they didn't get into Berkeley or UCLA.
Right. Okay.
Generally.
Yeah.
But it's a very good school. It's the smartest school of the 3.
Yeah.
And if you don't have fun at college in San Diego, like it's your fault.
I mean, San Diego is I always tell people like, if you don't want to be in the entertainment world and you just want to like live in like a cool place,
at some point like just going, like if I get enough going that I can live wherever in comedy,
San
it would
Diego.
be either San Diego or the Bay, just because that's where I'm from.
Yeah, because it's being around hometown people. Yeah,
San Diego is awesome, and I love living there. But the cool thing was because we didn't have a football team, I got to keep the one that I grew up rooting for, which is Michigan, and we just won.
I saw that on your stories. Yeah, big Michigan guy,
dude. It was unbelievable.
That's electric.
The Rose Bowl was one of the coolest experiences of my life
because of like just like the atmosphere. They say that stadium's the energy there is just kind of
it's nuts. Crazy. Well, I think it's like 95,000 people, but it's built so old that there's no like breaking it up for like a different concourse or a different. It's just a wall of people.
Right.
And on one side you had the Alabama wall, and then we're on the Michigan side.
Yeah.
And growing up, I'd never seen Michigan in person, but like my grandpa went there, so I was like a fan forever. And if you're a Michigan fan, the Rose Bowl's kind of the most important game because it's just there's so much history. It used to be like Big Ten, Pac-10, and it's always wherever you are. It's like it looks beautiful there. You're like, how is that happening January 1st? And it was all on display this year. It was like perfect. The vibes were great. They win in overtime.
Yeah.
It was just like it was everything. The tension buildup of having not won for so long in sports, but being so close, and then you just kind of release. It was awesome.
That's got to be sick, dude. Yeah, we thought we were gonna have such a good season, and then Jordan Travis just broke his leg.
That was brutal.
Against Northern Alabama. I was like,
brutal.
Out of all the games, dude.
Well, I didn't know
all the fucking games.
I didn't know until that debate broke out. Everyone's like, look, the college football playoff is not the 4 teams who had the best season. It's the best 4 teams. I was like, no, I actually thought it was the other one.
Yeah.
I literally thought it was who had the best season.
Yeah.
I thought that you can't just be like, nope, sorry, not you. You're hurt.
Well, because TCU the year before got absolutely blown out, and they were like, "Well,
after beating Michigan,
we're like, well, this isn't." They're like, "This isn't good for ratings." TCU won't be back anytime soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's kind of where they were coming from.
But like the ACC is,
we're trying to get out of it.
Yeah,
we're trying to get out of it.
And somehow Stanford and Cal are joining because the
Pac-10 conceded.
The whole thing is a mess.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, college is a good time. I've been to SDSU to visit friends a couple times.
Yeah.
Good burrito spots down there. Ponchos.
Oh, dude, the best.
Ponchos,
the burritos
burritos
down there are unbelievable.
Ocean Beach is like a favorite place of mine to go visit too.
Yeah,
like
little
Ocean Beach.
little hippie town.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
the cool thing about San Diego is you have like military.
Yeah.
And then you have OB, which is like hippie, patchouli ass.
Yeah.
And then PB, which is like frat rage.
Yeah.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
And you have all of it.
Yeah.
Go to Hillcrest, get gay with it. You can do whatever you want, dude. You go East County, you can get super conservative. Like you can do it all.
Yeah. We stayed in a hostel once in O Beach. Yeah.
You're a hostel guy.
I don't mind them. Yeah.
Yeah.
My friends are like, we're about to be 28. My friend,
Yeah.
one of my buddies who I'm going to Ibiza with, he's like, we're not doing the hostel thing anymore. And I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Cable service.
And then be like, come back to the hostel. But that's what we were doing.
That's insane.
Yeah. Like literally got table service in Ibiza, Calvin Harris. And then that morning we had woken up in Pamplona at a campground in a 30-person mixed dorm. It looked like a bunker. It legit looked like a bunker.
Turn it into a parking lot.
Yeah. Dude, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a blast. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just all my stuff. So Joey Avery, I'm easy to find. JoeyAvery.com has tour dates. Joey Avery on Instagram, Joey Avery Comedy on TikTok, and then I don't know when it'll be up, but the Joey Show podcast will be live, so look that up on YouTube.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Awesome.
All right. See you soon. Bye, guys.